A shocking verdict has just been delivered in a trial that has gripped Northern Ireland and beyond. Soldier F, the only military veteran prosecuted for the Bloody Sunday shootings, has been found not guilty of all charges. But here's where it gets controversial. In a non-jury trial, Judge Patrick Lynch spent over 2 hours reviewing the evidence before announcing his decision. This trial, which began in September, focused on the events of Bloody Sunday, a tragic day in January 1972 when 13 people lost their lives during a civil rights demonstration in Derry's Bogside area. A public inquiry, concluded in 2010, had already established that none of the victims posed a threat to the army. Soldier F, a former member of the parachute regiment, faced 2 murder charges and 5 counts of attempted murder. He has now been acquitted of all these charges, sparking a range of emotions among those affected by the events of that fateful day. Liam Ray, who lost his brother James on Bloody Sunday, shared a poignant reflection. He revealed his relief upon learning that a teenage first aider had accompanied his brother to the hospital, providing comfort and support during his final moments. This revelation, shared by BBC News NI's Karen Teresh, highlights the human stories behind the legal proceedings. The non-jury system in Northern Ireland, introduced in 1973, was designed to prevent jury intimidation and bias in terrorism prosecutions. While these trials were common during the height of the Troubles, with over 300 cases a year, they have become rare in recent years, with only 12 non-jury trials in 2023. This system, named after Lord Diplock, has technically been abolished by the government but continues to be used in Northern Ireland through secondary legislation, requiring parliamentary extension every 2 years. During the trial, the judge allowed military witness statements from the time of Bloody Sunday to be used as evidence. These statements, made by soldiers G and H, placed the defendant at the scene and suggested he opened fire. However, the defense argued that this evidence was unconvincing and inconsistent. The prosecution, on the other hand, maintained that these statements represented direct evidence of Soldier F's involvement. And this is the part most people miss. The impact of Bloody Sunday extended far beyond the loss of life. Caroline O'Donnell, whose father Patsy was shot in the shoulder that day, shared her belief that her father never truly recovered from the trauma. Even now, she becomes tearful thinking about the other families who lost loved ones. Soldier F was charged with the attempted murder of her father, who passed away from cancer in 2006, before the findings of the Bloody Sunday inquiry could be heard. Soldier F's identity has been protected by a court order, and he is known only by the pseudonym. He was one of 18 former soldiers reported to prosecutors following the public inquiry conducted by Lord Saville. The decision to charge him was taken by the Public Prosecution Service, PPS, in 2019, but the case was dropped 2 years later after the collapse of a similar trial involving other veterans. However, the prosecution was resumed in 2022 following a legal challenge. Outside the court, a media frenzy has been building, with journalists and TV crews from across the islands gathering to cover this highly anticipated verdict. Meanwhile, a small group of supporters has also gathered to show their support for Soldier F. The hearing, which began in the morning, saw around 100 people in the public gallery at Belfast Crown Court, including family and friends of those killed or injured on Bloody Sunday. The families, who have been through a long and emotional journey, walked the same route to court today as they did on the first day of the trial, preparing to hear the judge's verdict. Bloody Sunday, a day that claimed 13 lives and injured at least 15 others, is widely regarded as one of the darkest days in the history of the Northern Ireland Troubles. The events of that day, when members of the parachute regiment opened fire on civil rights demonstrators in the predominantly Catholic Bogside area of Londonderry, have left an indelible mark on the country's history. As the families of the victims prepare to hear the verdict, the question on everyone's mind is, will justice be served? And what does this verdict mean for the legacy of Bloody Sunday and the ongoing quest for truth and reconciliation in Northern Ireland? These are questions that will undoubtedly spark debate and discussion, and we invite you to share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below.